Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Shrivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Shrivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Pratachana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Pratachana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Shrivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Pratachana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Shrivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Pratachana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, today we are continuing with our reading from the Srimad-bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading today from the Srimad-bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 3, text number 16. The chapter is called Gajendra's Prayers of Surrender. And basically the whole chapter are the prayers of Gajendra. So this is another prayer or a continuation of the previous. So Sanskrit. Gunarani Chana Chid Ushma Paya Sat Shobha Vish Purjita Manasaya Nashkarmya Bhavena Vivarji Tagama Swayam Prakashaya Namas Karomi Gunarani Chana Chid Ushmapaya Tekshobha Vish Purjita Manasaya Naishkarmya Bhavena Vivarjita Gama Swayam Prakashaya Namaskaromi Gunarani Chana Chid Ushmapaya Tekshova Vishpurjita Manasaya Naishkarmya Bhavena Vivarjitagama Swayam Prakashaya Namaskaromi Gunarani Chana Chid Ushmapaya Tekshova Vishpurjita Manasaya Nashkarmya Bhavena Vivarjigama Swayam Prakashaya Namaskaromi Guna by the three gunas, the modes of material nature, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Arani, by Arani wood, Chana, covered, Chit, of knowledge, Ushmapaya, unto he whose fire, Takshobha, of the agitation of the modes of material nature, Vishpurjita, outside, Manasaya, unto he whose mind, Naishkarmya Bhavena, because of the stage of spiritual understanding. Vivarjita, in those who give up Agama, Vedic principles, Swayam, personally, Prakashaya, unto he who is manifest. Namakarami, I offer my respectful obeisances. Yes, yeah. No, mine says what I was reading. Yours is a little different. So, translation. Oh, my Lord, as a fire in Arani wood is covered, you and your unlimited knowledge are covered by the material modes of nature. Your mind, however, is not attentive to the activities of the modes of nature. Those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge are not subject to the regulative principles directed in the Vedic literature. Because such advanced souls are transcendental, you personally appear in their pure minds. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Repeat after me. My Lord, as the fire in Arani wood is covered, you and your unlimited knowledge are covered by the material modes of nature. Your mind, however, is not attentive to the activities of the modes of nature. Those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge are not subject to the regulative principles directed in the Vedic literatures. Because such advanced souls are transcendental, you personally appear in their pure minds. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Srila Prabhupada purport. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 11, it is said, it's one of the chapter shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita, Teshan evanukam partam aham agyana jantamaha nashayam yatma bhavasto jnana dipena bhavata. For a devotee who has taken the lotus feet of the Lord within his heart, the Lord gives spiritual enlightenment, known as Jnana Deepa, by spiritual mercy from within. This Jnana Deepa is compared to the fire hidden within Arani wood. To perform fire sacrifices, great sages previously did not ignite a fire directly. The fire would be invoked from Arani wood. Similarly, all living entities are covered by the modes of material nature, and the fire of knowledge can be ignited only by the Supreme Personality of Godhead when one takes him within one's heart. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. If one takes seriously the lotus feet of Krishna, who is seated within one's heart, the Lord eradicates all ignorance. By the torch of knowledge, one immediately understands everything properly by the special mercy of the Supreme Lord and becomes self-realized. In other words, although a devotee may externally not be very well educated, because of his devotional service, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives him enlightenment from within. If the Lord gives enlightenment from within, how can one be in ignorance? Therefore, the allegation of the Mayavadis that the devotional path is for the unintelligent or uneducated is untrue. Yashasti Bhakti Bhagavata Kinchana Savara Gunais Tetra Samasate Suraha. It's from the Srimad-bhagavatam 5th canto, 18th chapter, 12th verse. If one becomes an unalloyed devotee of the Supreme Personality, the Supreme Lord, he automatically manifests all good qualities. Such a devotee is above the instructions of the Vedas. He is a Paramahansa. Even without going through the Vedic literature, a devotee becomes pure and enlightened by the mercy of the Lord. Therefore, my Lord, the devotee says, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. So, Om Akana Timuranda Shakana Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Nina Tasmai Shri Gurvinu. So, that Bhagavad Gita verse that was Srila Prabhupada quoted in the purport, the purport didn't give the exact translation. So that verse, which is one of the four main verses of the Bhagavad Gita, that verse says, to show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Show the special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So Lord Krishna is in everyone's heart. He's here. And he's always showing us mercy. He's always showing us mercy. Actually, the analogy is given that the two birds in the tree, two birds. So you have one bird who's pecking away and eating the fruit, the berries and whatever fruit the mangoes maybe. It's mango season now. The mangoes of the tree or some kind of fruit of the tree. And he's enjoying. Sometimes enjoying, sometimes suffering, but he's doing it. The other bird, his friend, is just watching him. He's watching his friend eat, but he's not doing anything. He's not trying to enjoy the fruits himself. So in the analogy, the bird that is enjoying the fruits, he's like the regular. He's a conditioned soul. He's us. we're trying to enjoy the material world in so many ways. And the other bird who is watching without saying anything, just observing, is the super soul, who's observing what's going on, and he's just waiting till his friend, who's enjoying the fruits of the tree, says, "Hey, I need help. I need guidance. Help me." Back of the other bird. And then the other bird is all ready to give him direction. You do this, you don't do that. You eat this, you don't eat that, like that. So the same thing. Lord Krishna is a super soul, and he's in the heart. He's actually in physical. He's actually. We say he's in our heart. Of course, that doesn't mean that the super soul, the Krishna, is in there and there's blood everywhere and like that. He's transcendental to it. But he's in the area of the heart. In fact, it's because of the soul and the super soul in the heart that the heart, it beats. There's life. We have a pulse. It's because they're there that there's any sign of life at all. So this is so the super soul, the soul and the super soul are both very important. And then when that soul, in whatever body he's in, especially the human body, when he starts feeling that I can't do it on my own, I need help, I need guidance, he starts looking and giving up some of his false pride, and then the other bird who represents the super soul, super soul starts saying, okay, you do this, you do that, and since Krishna, super soul is Krishna, and he's the supreme Lord, so he's always making arrangements according to our desire, what we desire and what we deserve, to give us what we want, and ultimately to give us Krishna consciousness. This is what the super soul does. So sometimes that super soul will he'll help us. He'll help us. He'll help us in various ways. He's directing everything. He's controlling everything. So that super soul that's in our heart, he from within the heart is giving us a very good direction. We don't understand. I mean, people in general don't understand how's God giving you direction. You think, but in reality, He's directing us. He's arranging things outside. He's giving us a chance to fulfill our desires that we had previously. He's reminding us of where we left off. That's actually very important, because we don't remember what we were thinking of in our previous lifetime. We still have the desires, but we don't remember exactly what we were thinking. So the super soul in the heart, he reminds us. He brings it to mind. Oh, you like music, or you like this, or you like that, and so giving that opportunity to engage in these activities. So that super soul is in the heart, by giving us knowledge. To show them special mercy, I, that's Krishna, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So this is Lord Krishna appearing as a super soul. He's given us everything that we need to become Krishna conscious. So he's directing us in that way. Another point here, it's a nice analogy. This wood, Arani wood. Anyway, it's some special wood apparently, and when they performed fire sacrifices, they didn't use a lighter or a blowtorch or anything like that to get the fire started. They did it by mantra. Mantras used to be, they still are if you know how to chant them. Mantras are very powerful. Mantras are very powerful in the right hands. So um, they they are in times in the past when the brahmanas were qualified to do these kind of sacrifices, then yes, they would simply by chanting some mantra, then then the wood itself, which is a particular kind of wood, would it would seem like it spontaneously just start burning. They didn't have the lighter or the we do fire sacrifices. We put a chunk of camphor there, which burns a lot, and try to light up the camphor and try to do what we can do to get the fire going. But they didn't need all that. They simply used uh, they chanted their mantras, and then the fire just started. So sound vibration is very powerful. Uh, um, Prabhupada says here, if one becomes an unalloyed devotee of the Supreme Lord, he automatically manifests all good qualities. Such a devotee is above the instructions of the Vedas. Okay, so that's an important point because in practice of Krishna consciousness, we are practicing. It's called sadhana bhakti. We're practicing how to become Krishna conscious. But in sadhana bhakti, there are two kinds of bhakti. There's two kinds of sadhana. There's what's called Vaidhi bhakti, or Vidhi bhakti, Vaidhi bhakti, and there's what's called Raganuga bhakti. So there's Vaidhi bhakti means it's rules and regulations. It means you use your intelligence and say, okay, I want to do something, but I know from knowledge, from logic, from the scriptures that I need to, if I want to survive, I need to do things in a certain way according to the rules and regulations of the Vedas. We have to do it. But when one becomes in Vaidhi Bhakti, basically that is our, what do you say, our intimate, what's the word, impetus, our impetus to go forward in spiritual life. Because logically, based on intelligence, I know I must do this in order to become Krishna conscious, so I can become free from suffering. I'm suffering. I have to practice the process, and I have to do it a certain way to become free from this, from continuing to suffer in the material world. So that's okay, and this is how it's done for most people from the beginning of time. It's called sadhana bhakti. But when one becomes Krishna conscious enough, at some point in our Krishna consciousness, we basically become very we become very more independent. We practice Krishna consciousness. We don't have to think that I am, we don't have to intellectualize to say that I have to, I have my rules, regulations, and I have to chant Hare Krishna, and I have to read the books, and I have to do this, and I have to do that. But we don't have to, um, the advanced soul doesn't have to think in that way. The advanced soul, he automatically has a natural attraction to practice Krishna consciousness, to perform to perform devotional service without worrying about that I must do this because the scriptures say I must do this. That to do something according to scripture, and because the scriptures say you must do something in a certain way, that's called that's Advaita Bhakti. But when we go beyond that, in due course of time, Jai Shri Guru Jai Shri Radha Vijay Jagannatha Balaram Subhadra Ki Jai. When we go beyond that in due course of time, with Vaidhi Bhakti and into Raganuga Bhakti, that Raganuga Bhakti or Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, we're not doing engaging in these different activities because I know we don't intellectualize thinking I know I must do this, if I want to become Krishna conscious I have to act in this way, but we don't do that at this at a later stage, but what you do ask the Lord to help us along. So another point here. And then, of course, in the it's saying here that how the advanced souls, they don't have to follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedas. So what happens is that when we become spontaneous, when we become so advanced, then what drives us to engage in Krishna conscious activities, what drives us to do that is just simply it's basically just love. We're doing it because we've developed a spontaneous, loving uh, desire to engage in the Lord's service. We're not doing it at that point because I know I must do this. This is good. This is bad. You go beyond that. So of course the four regular principles. No eating meat, no sex, no intoxication, and no gambling. Well, even the pure devotees always follow those. But when it says that the pure devotee doesn't, let's see the exact quote here. If one becomes an unalloyed devotee of the Supreme Lord, he automatically manifests all good qualities. Such a devotee is above the instructions of the Vedas. So, of course, the Vedas are meant to help us become, to tell us what we should do and what we shouldn't do. But when one becomes a Paramahamsa, like Srila Prabhupada, then for his own spiritual life, his own spiritual, I won't say spiritual advancement because he's already advanced, but for such a personality, he's not tied down by the instructions of the Vedas. At the same time, he as an acharya, he will follow, but what drives him, what you say, what makes him want to engage in Krishna conscious activities is not that I know that my spiritual master has instructed me that I must do this and I must do that, and therefore I must become Krishna conscious. No, that's mechanical, and and we start off like that. We have to start somewhere. But for the very advanced soul, we don't have to do this on that level. A very advanced soul is spontaneously engaging in the Lord's service. Uh, so spontaneously engaging in the Lord's service. And such a soul who is completely like a Paramahansa. Paramahansa means topmost, literally means topmost Paramahansa, topmost swan-like devotee. So the topmost swan-like devotees, they do not make mistakes. They cannot make mistakes, actually, because they are so fully surrendered to Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna is directing them from within the heart what to do. And we saw that in Srila Prabhupada. You can never say that Srila Prabhupada really made a mistake. He in his books, his dictations, basically what we are reading here are his exact dictations, with little grammatical adjusting, which I don't, as far as I'm concerned, Srila Prabhupada just left something for us to do, because Lord Krishna certainly knows all languages, and Srila Prabhupada is surrendered to Lord Krishna. So we can understand that Srila Prabhupada was just doing what Krishna told him to do. But we look at these books. We look at these books of Srimad-bhagavatam, all the Srila Prabhupada's books. They're perfect. And Srila Prabhupada didn't write these books the way we might write books. At least if I was writing a book, I'd be writing it and rewriting it and rewriting it, so many times, so many different drafts, trying to say what I want to say in the perfect way. But the Srila Prabhupada didn't do like that. He simply sat down with his dictaphone, and he just, we basically are reading here what his dictations were, with some very minor adjustments in very maybe minor editing work, but the spiritual essence is there. Srila Prabhupada gave so many instructions. He gave so many. He taught the perfect Krishna conscious philosophy, and he acted perfectly. I mean, Krishna, he could have done anything and not been wrong because of his advanced position, but he basically, Krishna was actually directing him and helping him to be the perfect example for his followers and those who will follow him as the founder Acharya going on in the future. He was perfect in every way. Why? Because, as it says here, from within the heart, such a devotee, surrendered devotee, is given all direction on what to do and what not to do. That's why Srila Prabhupada was so perfect. And to the degree that we, practicing Krishna consciousness, surrender to the process, then we can also come to to such a platform of not making mistakes. Uh, uh, Mistakes come when we start acting on our own, out of our own false ego. When we're following Srila Prabhupada perfectly, then we will also come to the point where we will not make mistakes. We will not give wrong instructions. We will not do things that we are not supposed to do. That will come. Okay, anyway, these were a few points for today. Are there any questions, comments? Anyone watching online have any questions? I'm not seeing anything coming in, so maybe we'll finish today, and tomorrow we should be on text 17. Tomorrow, text 17 of the 8th canto, 3rd chapter. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.